ogtv.com.ng/live. And for the latest news and reports, you can check us on this platform, X at Ogtv, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now to the details of the news. The Senate has given its approval for President Bola Tinubu's request to send Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin as part of efforts to help restore calm and stability after last weekend's attempted military takeover. The endorsement was announced by Senate President Godswill Akpabio during plenary following a review of the President's letter in the Committee of the Whole. In accordance with Section 5, Part 2 of the Constitution, lawmakers voted unanimously to support the deployment, effectively granting parliamentary authorization for the regional security mission. Akpabio hailed the resolution as timely, stressing that unrest in any neighboring country could easily destabilize the wider region. He added that Nigeria has an obligation to stand with its partners under the Economic Community of West African States framework. The Senate is expected to immediately forward its formal approval to President Tinubu. Meanwhile, the Economic Community of West African States has declared a state of emergency across the region. The president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Touray, made the announcement during the 55th session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level in Abuja. Touray said recent development underlines the imperative of serious introspection of the future of democracy and the urgent need to invest in security of the community. Addressing ministers, diplomats, and senior officials, Touray gave a sobering assessment of West Africa's political climate, citing multiple incidents as evidence of a rapidly deteriorating security environment. He noted that ECOWAS member states currently face an average rating of high risk based on country-by-country analysis contained in documents before the ministers. Moving on, Nigeria and Saudi Arabia have entered into a new 5-year defense partnership aimed at expanding military cooperation between the two countries. The pact was announced in a statement issued by the Special Assistant on Media to the Minister of State for Defense, Ahmed Dan-Wude. The statement said the agreement will cover strategic collaboration across security, military training, intelligence, sharing, defense, production, and joint operations for sustainable security development. The MOU was signed by Minister for State for Defense Mohammed Matawale, while Dr. Khalid Al-Biyari represented the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode described the ensuring coverage as a vicious media campaign and called the attack shameless and nauseating. Defending Matawale's record, Fani-Kayode said the minister had shown unwavering loyalty to President Bola Tinubu and played a key role in the counter-terrorism efforts. He noted that the partnership between Matawale and National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has resulted in the killing of more terrorists in the last 2 years than the previous 8 put together. Nigerians have welcomed the collaboration between Nigeria and the United States, describing it as a fresh approach to tackling insecurity. They spoke on the recent involvement of the U.S. and the growing interest from France in helping the nation address terrorism, banditry, and insurgency. Matthew Shomi reports.
In today's interconnected world, insecurity anywhere often spreads everywhere. Terrorism and related crimes remain major challenges not only for Nigeria but the global community after earlier disagreements over issues such as the tag of Christian genocide and Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern. A U.S. government delegation is now meeting with the nation's security advisor. Their goal to fully understand Nigeria's security situation and explore ways to provide the needed assistance. Meanwhile, France has also expressed interest in supporting the country.
But I think the president and the NSA have been able to handle this issue diplomatically. And now we are having more of collaboration rather than just saying you are unable to do it, we're coming to do it for you. They now have a legitimate, reason for them to, go after those bandits. Nigeria, for whom they are, if this had happened maybe about 5-6 months ago, it will be politicized.
Terrorism is a very serious crime anywhere in the world. It threatens humanity, it threatens all of us. And a threat anywhere is a threat everywhere. I see it as a timely intervention.
It has moved across the country, and the government is trying to do its best. I want to support America coming up to assist Nigerians, to assist Nigeria, and our government to be so open to them, to be so sincere with them in terms of those people that are sponsoring this insecurity.
While some Nigerians see this U.S. involvement as a potential encroachment on national sovereignty, many believe that seeking help is justified when challenges appear intractable. Experts stress, however, the importance of a cautious approach.
If fighting these terrorists and winning it will require that Americans put foot on the ground, coming on the request of our own, president or the military from our own side, then so be it. If we need firepower from them, so be it. If we need technology or intelligence from them, so be it. But what I'm just saying is that whatever we need from them should be a request from us.
Now we are reawakening to our consciousness to say we want to fight terrorism, we want to fight extremism. America needs to support us, both intelligence-wise, the capacities, the technological-wise. When it comes to weapons, talk of a weapon, they need to support us. America's interests must be protected as well. They have their citizens and their investments all over the places.
The discussion also highlighted the critical role of all levels of government alongside citizens in addressing insecurity.
For a very long time, everybody will say the federal government should be in charge of security, it should be the only one. Even the northern governors that have been opposing state police are the ones coming out to say the time is right for it. I think the time is right for it. When we're talking about state police, it is not a complete duplication of what the federal police is doing. What we are saying is that if we have state police, we'll be able to take some, not too important aspect of policing.
With the international community's attention now on Nigeria, many hope these collaborations will help finally resolve the country's security challenges. Matthew Showme, Ogtv News.
As students across Nigeria proceed on Christmas and New Year break, school authorities and parents are heightening security measures amid rising concerns about the current security challenges across the country. Parents have been admonished to reinforce gate check as well as deploy updated emergency protocols in ensuring the safety of learners as they travel home for the holidays. Toyin Ogundepe's report is presented in this package.
Schools nationwide are releasing pupils for the festive break, but this season comes with added caution. Growing reports of kidnapping, communal clashes and heightened tension in some areas prompt education stakeholders to put extra protective measures in place. Many school authorities now require reinforced gate checks and updated emergency response plans. Several have formed partnerships with community vigilante groups, local security outfits, and the police to patrol and monitor the routes commonly used by students.
America that they will go after all these people, and the possibility of some of these bandits to escaping from the hideout to move to elsewhere where perhaps they have not been located before. Definitely, anybody should be cautious of
parents to make sure that they do not allow their wards to just move around without adequate security. Not that they will use a policeman to follow them. If they are going to their friend's place or to any relative's place, they should be well monitored. They should not be allowed to go all alone.
You know, and if they want to go out, they should know where they are going and what they are going to do. So that by the grace of God, when we resume in January, all of us will be back hale and healthy.
Security experts advise families to avoid night travel, use verified transport operators, travel in groups where possible, and share real-time locations with relatives. They also urge parents to confirm pick-up arrangements in advance and to report any suspicious activity immediately.
Oh, no, it's government business. We are government staff, and we have constitutional responsibility to carry out. So if we don't do that, we are veering off for our mandate, protection of lives and property.
Community members play a vital role. Reporting suspicious movements and supporting neighborhood patrols strengthens the safety net around traveling pupils. For many families, the festive break remains a time of celebration. This year, however, safety and vigilance take equal billing to make sure every child returns home and back to school securely.
Nigerian security landscape has faced sustained pressure in recent years, with incidents of armed conflict, violent crime and persistent insurgency shaping daily life in several communities. These challenges continue to raise concerns among citizens who are seeking decisive action and renewed commitment to national security. With the assumption of office by the new Defense Minister, General Christopher Musa, expectations are high as Nigerians call for stronger coordination, improved military response and strategic reforms to restore peace across the country. Our correspondent, Inkim Ago, reports on the concerns and hopes being expressed nationwide. Our reports.
Nigeria continues to face serious security challenges, from banditry in the northwest and insurgency in the northeast to kidnapping and armed robbery across the country. Citizens are calling for decisive leadership that delivers real results. On 2nd December 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed General Christopher Gaben Musa as the new Minister of Defense. He succeeds Alhaji Muhammad Badiru Abubakar, who resigned earlier. General Musa, 58 years, is a seasoned soldier who served as Chief of Defense Staff from 2023 to October 2025. He brings decades of military experience and strategic leadership to the role. Nigerians now expect him to strengthen military operations, improve coordination among security agencies, and ensure that forces are better equipped and accountable.
The president is the commander-in-chief. The buck stops on his table. We must provide that support to make Nigeria peaceful. Shedding of innocent blood is over. Our farmers should be able to go back to their farms. We must address these issues on ground. Most of the challenges we are facing is not military solution. There are issues of good governance, justice, equity, and fairness, which we are going to encourage. So it's going to be a holistic aspect. The non-kinetic and the kinetic must work hand in hand.
Nigerians expressed mixed reactions to his appointment.
He's our Minister of Defense, and so all we want is to be safe. How he's going to do it? We're a praying nation. We're all praying for him. The expectation is very high. But at the end of the day, safety is key.
So I expect now that General Musa will cooperate with the defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, and make the necessary efforts to ensure now that our men push these people back to the trenches where they belong and assure the ordinary man that their lives are safe.
He has the capacity, he has the experience, he has the integrity, and he has a track record. The previous positions he has held have equipped him with the necessary skills to make a success out of this new assignment.
It's a strategic ministry that needs professionalism and somebody who is competent, who is professional in that field. And that's what exactly Mr. President has just did now.
They say all they want to see is results, a situation where they can sleep with their eyes closed.
I'm just praying for him, and I'm hoping that while he knows what he's saying, he should have the capability and the strength to go ahead and do the right thing.
You see something, you must say something. So our armed forces, including our policemen, have to be further trained to protect people who come to tell. You know, everybody is scared of going to tell because you don't know if the news will get out that it was you and they will kill you. So if they encourage us to see something and say something, we must be protected.
The nation watches closely as General Musa steps into the crucial role tasked with restoring security and stability across Nigeria. In Kem Agu, Ogtv News.
And still to come on the news, federal government directs MDAs to defer 70% of 2025 capital budget till 2026. More news and report after this time out. Stay with us.
Transfer. Now money point of that. No worries, have good make am. No go buy ball.
They use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point made for your progress.
Glad to know you're still there watching the comprehensive news package for the day. Ogun State has joined the global community to commemorate the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence marked annually from November 25th to December 10th. The observance began with a solidarity walk led by the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, alongside the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Abdijat Adeleye. The walk terminated at the office of the Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele. Margaret Okunlola reports.
November 25 to December 10 every year is a defining moment globally as the world celebrates 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a campaign that seeks to raise awareness and mobilize actions to end all forms of violence against women and girls. And in Ogun State, for the commemoration, the wife of Ogun State's Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, led a walk in collaboration with the State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, headed by the Commissioner, Honorable Abdijat Adeleye. With the 2025 theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls, focusing on addressing online abuse, misogyny and harassment, various women support groups, NGOs, associations, community organizations and stake functionaries joined the walk, including members of the Spouses of Ogun State Government Functionaries Association, SOSFA, the National Association of Sea Dogs, among others. The walk kicks off from on the bridge in Kuto, Abeokuta, progresses through the NNPC axis down to the state secretariat in Okemoso, and terminates at the office of the Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, who receives the team.
Everything that this government stands for is to make sure that we give everybody in our society a better chance. And one of the things that works against that is violence, bullying, and anything that can reduce the confidence of people to fulfill their potential.
Wife of Ogun State's Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, says the walk is not just symbolic, but a rallying call for decisive action against violence targeting women and girls.
I call on all stakeholders within and outside government to join us in this fight to ensure that not only are the issues of sexual assault, rape, and abuse reported to the appropriate quarters, but that offenders are prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
A media rally was later held at the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, where the Commissioner, Honorable Adijat Adeleye, explains that with strong support from the state government and stakeholders, the ministry has strengthened support systems, expanded prevention initiatives, and enhanced mechanisms for reporting and responding to both physical and digital abuse. She stresses that no woman or girl in Ogun State should ever suffer in silence, whether online or offline.
Every parent, every teacher, every leader, every young person, every institution has a role to play in ending violence. Together, we can build a future where every woman and girl in our dear Gateway State feels safer in their homes, in their community, and in the digital world.
Honorable Adeleye adds that Ogun State remains one of the leading states in combating gender-based violence, with 4 sexual assault referral centers operating across the state's zones. She also highlighted the availability of toll-free lines for help. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
The federal government says it is strengthening partnership with state governments to scale up the national homegrown school feeding program, reaffirming its commitment to ensuring that no Nigerian child lands on an empty stomach. This assurance came from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding, Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, at the official flag-off of the Elo International School Feeding Initiative in Ogun State. Our reporter Margaret Okunlola again reports that the wife of Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, and other state dignitaries were present at the ceremony. Her report.
As part of efforts to improve child nutrition and learning outcomes, government officials, development partners, education stakeholders, and community leaders converge on Ogun State for the launch of the Hello International School Feeding Initiative. Representing the Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding, Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, the consultant on partnership, Mr. Adekunle Ade Onojobi, reaffirms the Tinubu administration's commitment to strengthening delivery systems, expanding access, and scaling the impact of school meals nationwide.
Thanks to the visionary leadership, the strong institutions that the governor and his wife and the State Executive Council are building under the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are transforming the school feeding program into a powerful engine for learning, for health, and economic empowerment across the country.
Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun on her part emphasizes that every child fed is a step toward a healthier, more educated, and more prosperous Nigeria.
The program is not just about feeding children. It is also about feeding our local economy by utilizing local farmers and food suppliers. The program would employ medically certified cooks, many of whom are women, thereby creating jobs.
State dignitaries explained that the initiative builds on existing structures established by the Ogun State government, positioning the state as a dependable partner in school feeding reform through its innovation and child-centered programs.
We have a standard, Ogun standard, that we use, and the governor, Prince Dr. Abiodun, do not compromise standards. So we have the SUBEB, the Ministry of Education and all that. We have supervisors from those ends that comes into the school to check what they are doing from time to time.
It is compulsory that a child must eat before coming to school. And that's why we are calling on all our parents that they should ensure that their wards eat before they come to school, no matter how small.
When they have these behavioral problems in class, that it is a hidden problem of hunger. And if we let it stick around, they grow with this, and in future it can become a permanent brain issue where they cannot assimilate or learn. We partnered with the state government and the picked the menu because we cannot bring the menu to you. We have to be culturally sensitive. So we picked the menu that the local community are familiar with. But it has to be balanced diet.
Various items were distributed to pupils, including food bags, school bags, writing materials. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
The 1996-2022 set of African Church Grammar School has distributed over 700 school sandals and exercise books to the GS1 students of the school. Representatives of the set revealed that the distribution is part of the Raise a Child project of the set, with a promise to ensure students in other classes are taught as a way of giving back to their alma mater. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Fully conscious of how difficult it could be for some of the students in maintaining their white tennis shoes as part of the school uniform, the 9602 set of the African Church Grammar School, Itaeko Abeokuta, has decided to fill the gap with the distribution of over 700 white Crocs alongside exercise books to the GS1 students. Representatives of the set say the contributions of the school in nurturing and shaping them to become who they are will always be recognized, and the decision to come forward with the items was also to inspire and encourage the students.
The initiative came from one of us as an alumni and suggested it to us that during our time when we were in school, we noticed most students, if not all, were not able to afford a good pair of sneakers or shoe.
Thank God for the grace given unto me to be part of this movement and to be part of this great set. And I'm so happy to put smile on these children's faces in this really tight season.
They promise to continue to give back to the school while helping the students realize their dreams in life.
And as they are progressing in their studies, they should have it at the back of their mind to give back.
That they should just focus on their studies now and concentrate.
Principal of Avo Grams Jr., who described the set as one of the most formidable and impactful sets of the school, praises members for the good gesture geared towards securing the future of the students, encouraging other sets to learn from the examples of the 9602 set of the school.
That class set 9602 is a formidable club set. They have intervened for the school in many ways. Notably amongst them is the renovation of a block of classroom.
The students appreciate the old students with a promise to face their studies as a way of justifying the investment.
I am very happy, and I would like to thank the African Church Club Set 9602. So happy. I feel like doing it when I live in SST in Afro.
The school wares were distributed to the students one after the other. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
Moving on, the federal government has directed ministries, departments and agencies to carry over 70% of their 2025 capital allocations into the 2026 fiscal year. The directive is contained in the 2026 Abridged Budget Call circular issued by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and circulated to ministries, service chiefs and heads of agencies. The circular said the government had adopted a new framework that caps all 2026 capital budget ceilings at 70% of 2025 project allocations. Only 30% of this year's capital budget will be released in 2025, while the remaining 70% forms the foundation of next year's capital spending. Laid out strict guidelines for preparing next year's spending plan, including a ban on introducing new capital projects. According to the circular, the administration prioritizes completing ongoing projects and weak revenues and rising fiscal pressures. The ministry said the policy is meant to prevent duplication, strengthen continuity, and ensure that uncompleted projects are not abandoned. It warned MDAs against attempting to exceed their 2025 overhead ceilings in their 2026 submission despite inflationary pressures. Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State has defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). He announced this at a stakeholders meeting at the Government House in Port Harcourt. Fubara joins a host of his colleagues who have defected to APC this year.
Without Mr. President, there won't be any His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara. It would have been former. And we can't support Mr. President if we don't fully identify with him, not backyard support. So we have taken that decision today since we've gotten a pass. Everyone here who have followed me, who have suffered with me, our decision today, this evening, we are moving to APC.
Meanwhile, the Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has officially joined the Accord Party days after leaving the People's Democratic Party. The governor made the announcement at a banquet hall of the Government House in the presence of national and state leaders of the Accord Party. Adeleke also revealed his intention to seek re-election for his second term on the platform of the Thumb Up Party, stating that he joined the party more than a month ago. He stated that he opted for the party because its mission of welfarism aligns with its administration's focus in citizens and workers' welfare. Residents across Abeokuta have expressed mixed feelings following a recent reduction in the prices of some food items, even as its cost of several other essentials continues to rise sharply. Our reporter Olaide Oloye, who visited markets across the city, reports that while some shoppers are thrilled with the drop in prices, traders are concerned about how soaring costs of other commodities are affecting their livelihood. Our report.
From major hubs like Lafenwa and Kuto to neighborhood stores, shoppers say they are relieved to see staples such as rice, gari, beans, and certain vegetables slightly cheaper, easing household budgets.
The bag of beans like a drum, like before it was like 100,000 naira, but now it is around 70, 80,000. Celebration does not matter. We sell according to how, when people are hungry, they come to buy stuff, you know.
Price is coming down. Likewise also gari, likewise beans. But the expenses of cooking it is on high ground. Presently now a bag of charcoal go for 10,000 naira, which we used to get it for around 4,450 before. But now it's around 10,000 naira. So the coming down of foodstuffs does not really show because of the expenses of production, output production.
However, many lament that these gains are overshadowed by soaring prices of tomatoes, pepper, onions, and other perishables. Traders attribute the drop in some staple prices to improved supply and market stability. Yet, they say the sharp increase in other items stems from high transportation costs, seasonal shortages, and fluctuating farm yields.
Imagine this going for 1,000 naira, and a pot of stew you have to get up to 3,000 to 4,000 naira. So I don't know where we are going in this country, where we are going back or front.
We are getting a rate of 45,000 naira. The pattern now is 65, and what you get here is just dust. You cannot get the correct crayfish normal before. Obono, the same thing. Everything put money.
Shoppers note that families are struggling to adjust. In popular markets, a 50 kg bag of foreign rice, which costs 95,000 naira at the start of the year, has seen a significant drop in price. Traders explain that unpredictable price variations are affecting sales, adding that the recent surge in perishable foods is largely beyond their control.
buy the carton at the rate of 50,000 naira. But this morning we bought it at the rate of 64,000 naira this morning. There is no sales because the increasement of this market is too much.
Economists say this misprice trends reflect broader challenges in the food supply chain. They urge the government to intensify support for farmers and improve transport infrastructure to stabilize markets.
If the government can help us to do something tangible to it, we know they are trying. Actually, they are really trying. But we want them to put more effort into it. So we the entrepreneurship can be a little bit, have more income.
As citizens adapt to fluctuating prices, many are calling on authorities to implement long-term policies that will ensure affordability and food security for all. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
In continuation of ongoing capacity building on the Nigerian Identity Project and the National Values Charters, the National Orientation Agency and its partners converged for a week-long session for leaders drawn from various sectors at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Jos. The training sessions focused on how and what leaders should understand, imbibe and embed the Nigerian Identity Project and the National Values Charter in their leadership style, as well as in their organizations. Resource persons include Dr. Ogtv, former Chief of Staff to former Deputy Senate President, Professor Adeni Abiodun of Bayes University, both of whom were members of the ministerial committee that reviewed the original Nigerian Identity Project document, Professor Umar Musa, Director of Research at NIPSS, Professor Todd Joe, immediate past Vice Chancellor of Benue State University, Professor Elias, Directing Staff at NIPSS, Dr. Kolawole Oju, among others distinguished scholars. David Akoje, Director of Special Duties, Zonal Coordinator, represented the Director General of the NOA, Malam Larry Isa Onilu, and provided an overview of the Nigerian Identity Project and the National Value Charter during the training. The Chief Executive Officer of the Pa Philip Akintoye Development Foundation, PAPADEF, Mr. Akintoye Festus, has called on government institutions and citizens to promote inclusive development for persons with disabilities through innovation and accessibility. Akintoye made the call in a statement to mark the 2025 International Day of Persons with Disabilities, observed annually to promote the right and welfare of persons with disabilities. It said the day reminds the world of its responsibility to build societies where everyone, regardless of physical or mental condition, can live with dignity, equal opportunity, and full inclusion. According to him, PAPADEF does not see disability as a personal weakness, but as a condition shaped by the environment, government policies, and societal attitudes. Quoting United Nations data, Akintoye said over 1 billion people globally live with one form of disability, while the World Health Organization estimates that about 15% of the world's population is affected. He noted that many persons with disabilities still face serious challenges such as poor access to education, healthcare, decent jobs, social protection, and political participation, as well as stigma and discrimination. He stressed that disability inclusion was a matter of justice and human rights, not charity, and urged policymakers and citizens to remove all barriers facing persons with disability. Akintoye reaffirmed PAPADEF's commitment to disability inclusion, saying the foundation has continued to carry out awareness campaign, distribute assistive devices, support inclusive education, and run empowerment and skills program across communities. He called on Nigerians to challenge harmful stereotypes, build accessible environments, support families and caregivers, promote leadership among persons with disabilities, and push for stronger laws and better enforcement. It reaffirms PAPADEF's commitment to working with individuals, institutions, and government at all levels to build a future where innovation meets accessibility and every person can reach their full potential. Business News is next when we return. Just stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Business News. As the 2025 licensing round gets underway, the federal government has reduced the signature bonus from $10 million to $3 million and $7 million. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission disclosed this in an update on its website. According to the Commission, this was part of the government's efforts to reduce entry barriers. The chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, Binga Kumalafe, stated that the NUPRC surveyed what other countries like Brazil demand as signature bonuses from would-be investors and discovered the need to slash that of Nigeria. The NUPRC disclosed last year that an investment in deep water would attract $10 million as a signature bonus, while shallow water and onshore attract $7 million. It appears the figures have been reduced further to $7 million and $3 million respectively. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company's upstream subsidiary, NNPC Exploration and Production Limited, has recorded its highest daily crude oil production in more than 3 decades, hitting 355,000 barrels per day on December 1st, 2025. The milestone, confirmed in a statement issued on Tuesday by NNPC Limited's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Ande Ode, marks the company's biggest output since 1989 and signals renewed momentum in Nigeria's upstream recovery efforts. According to the statement, NNPC E&P Limited's average daily output has increased by 52% in 2 years, rising from 203,000 barrels per day in 2023 to 312,000 barrels per day in 2025, a performance the company attributed to strengthened operational systems, disciplined asset management, and structured field development. Commenting on the achievements, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Bayo Ujulari, described the accomplishments as evidence that Nigeria's energy revival is not a dream but already happening. The federal government, through the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, has restored 450 megawatts of generation capacity to the national grid following the completion of scheduled maintenance works on the Geregu National Integrated Power Project plant in Kogi State. The 4-week extended minor inspection conducted by Siemens Energy was executed to improve the facility's reliability and operating efficiency. The intervention also extended the plant's equivalent operating hours, strengthening one of the country's most strategic generation assets. The development was disclosed in a statement by the head of corporate communications and external relations at NDPHC, Emmanuel Ojo. According to the managing director, Chief Executive Officer Jennifer Adihie, the Geregu recovery forms part of a wider effort to revive previously dormant assets across the company's power fleet. China has offered a significant boost to Nigeria's export ambitions after its ambassador in Abuja, Yun Dunhai, announced that Beijing is prepared to fast-track a zero-tariff policy for Nigerian goods ahead of schedule. The move signals a fresh push to strengthen economic ties as both countries mark 55 years of diplomatic relations and prepare for the 2026 China-Africa Year of Cultural Exchanges. Yun Dunhai pledged during a meeting with Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Maitama-Tuga, where discussions centered on trade expansion, strategic cooperation, and long-term development priorities. He said the early rollout of zero-tariff access would deepen trust between the two nations and create real economic gains for citizens on both sides. According to the ambassador, the China-Nigeria Comprehensive Strategic Partnership has now entered what he described as the fast track, guided by policy directions in the Chinese Communist Party's recommendations for the forthcoming 15th five-year plan. The Central Bank of Nigeria hopes to leave agricultural lending above the current level of less than 5% of banks' credit, with Governor Olayemi Cardoso declaring that agriculture must receive its rightful place in our financial system and national priorities. Cardoso spoke in Abuja on Tuesday at the inauguration of the newly constituted board of the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund. He told the audience that the event marked a defining moment, a bold statement of intent that signals a new dawn for agricultural financing in Nigeria. He said agriculture remained the backbone of the economy, contributing more than 1/5 of GDP and employing most Nigerians, yet it receives only a small fraction of formal credit. Less than 5% of banks' lending goes to the agricultural sector. And that's it on business news. Many thanks for watching.